I think like the most important part is whether you like it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, guests, and students. Congratulations, students, and also welcome to the Coast Salish territory of the Musqueams, Squamish, and Tsitsi-Waututh. It is a great honor to be present here today to witness your accomplishments, and I wish you luck in your success in the jobs that you're going to be getting and the communities you're going to be going to. And I'd like to thank the parents, grandparents for allowing you to come and spend time with us, all my relations. Now I invite Carol Taylor to the podium.
Thank you, Elder Margaret, for your words of welcome. Elder Margaret is a member of SFU's Aboriginal Elder Program. I'd now like to invite Ms. Annie Lee, a fourth-year student in the marketing program at the Beedie School of Business, and she will lead us in the singing of O Canada. Annie? Please be seated. I now declare the Spring 2014 Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honored guests, graduates, and friends. I'm Carol Taylor, Chancellor of SFU, and this is our 49th Convocation. We are delighted and honored to have in attendance today a number of very distinguished guests on the platform as well as in our audience. Special guests on the platform today include our incoming Chancellor, Anne Giardini, and members of the Board of Governors, Dr. June Francis and Ms. Fiona Robin. Welcome to you all. As well, this afternoon, an honorary Doctorate of Letters will be conferred on Mr. David Baines, a very special day for all of us. It's been one of the great pleasures in being Chancellor to look out on our graduating class, so full of talent and ideas, energy, hope, and I'm sure some anxiety. But I can't help but think about the various paths you might choose from this day forward. So here's my hope. There is such a desperate need for leadership in our society, and we need leadership in every single area that you represent in your studies, that I must believe this leadership is going to come from you. But it won't be easy. When I talk about leadership, it's based entirely on personal observation over many years in a lot of different professions. So for me, leadership is definitely not about the position. Having CEO or Prime Minister or President label on your door does not inevitably make you a leader. We can all cite examples where genuine leadership is shockingly absent. So it's not about the position, but it is about the individual. So I encourage you right now, think of one person, doesn't matter if it's in business or the arts, politics, science, someone in your classes, think of one person that you think embodies true leadership. And then what is it that makes that individual exceptional? To me, there are at least 3 essential characteristics. First of all, a leader must have strength, the courage of her convictions, or his. And it's just not possible to be a true leader of people or ideas without the courage to stand tall when others try to discourage you or tell you you are absolutely wrong. And believe me, there will be naysayers. But leadership, true leadership, is not for the faint of heart. You've got to dig deep down inside of yourself and believe. Second, it helps to be a bit of a contrarian, an original thinker, someone who's willing to question the way things have always been done. True leaders are rarely leaders of the status quo. That's called a manager. Thirdly, you cannot by definition be a leader without followers. Now, I've made that mistake thinking I had a brilliant idea. I'm keen, enthusiastic, let's go. I turn around and realize nobody is with me. Nobody was following me. So in that case, a brilliant idea rapidly becomes a useless idea because it's just not going to happen. So you have to take the time to incubate an idea, nurture a team, develop buy-in. In other words, you have to inspire others to follow your lead. You can't force anyone. I believe each one of you here today has the opportunity to become a leader in your own field and in your own way. It is what SFU has prepared you for. But becoming a leader rarely happens by accident. As I said, it takes courage, ideas, and the very precious ability to inspire others to work with you. And of course, as you already know, a whole lot of hard work. So today, on this first day of the rest of your life, I encourage you, become all you know that you can be. Be a leader. Vous êtes prêt. I now call upon the president of SFU, Professor Andrew Petter.
Madam Chancellor, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty members, staff, and most especially, graduands and friends. It's my privilege to preside at this celebration of your success, this culminating event of your education at Simon Fraser University. And it's my pleasure to welcome those who have come to help you celebrate that success, your parents, family members, and friends, for whom this occasion is as special as it is for you. I'd like to speak today about the wisdom of someone who, though not a philosopher in the traditional sense, is renowned for his pearls of inadvertent wisdom. I'm speaking of former New York Yankees catcher and manager Yogi Berra. Yogi, who's still very much with us, by the way, has offered many memorable insights over the years, such as a nickel ain't worth a dime anymore, when you come to a fork in the road, take it, or my personal favorite, always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't come to yours. Yogi also said something that I think is particularly relevant to this year's graduating class. The future, said Yogi, ain't what it used to be. Now, like many yogiisms, there's a deeper truth to be found within this saying. The future ain't what it used to be. What Yogi is trying to tell us is that the world is changing in ways that are new and often difficult to predict. Now, that can be a scary prospect, or it can be a source of tremendous opportunity. The question turns on whether one has what it takes to see the potential offered by change and to seize it. Consider Xerox, the documents company, which in the 1970s was at the cutting edge of computer innovation. One of the most interesting things Xerox developed was called the WIMP, for Window, Icon, Menu, and Pointing Device, the last we now think of as the mouse. But Xerox wasn't looking to the future. Its executives held to the belief that they were running a printing and photocopying business, so they wimped out. They gave their innovation away to some upstart named Steve Jobs. in return for which Jobs let Xerox invest $1 million in a company called Apple. Xerox has survived, but its future, in Yogi's words, ain't what it used to be. Its current market capitalization is $14 billion. Not bad, but Apple's is $529 billion. The lesson is that we live in today's world, and we must prepare for a future that will almost be unrecognizable. The businesses of yesterday, the photo development stores, the video rental outlets, they're gone. They evaporated in a Kodak moment or collapsed in a blockbuster fashion. Now, this can be worrying for people trying to find their way into the job market. For example, BC is rich in natural resources. A few generations ago, that's where you would find most of the best jobs. But while resources remain a critical economic pillar of this province, it's now true that high tech boasts more jobs than forestry, oil and gas, and mining combined. Things have changed. Indeed, change is the only thing we can guarantee will not change. And while futurists may try to make good guesses about the jobs of tomorrow, there are no courses offered to teach you the necessary skills. Or perhaps there are. Perhaps you've already taken them. Author and journalist Fareed Zakaria makes a good case in this regard. In our skills-obsessed world, says Zakaria, there's no substitute for the advantage you receive from studying at an institution that values the liberal arts. Depending on your discipline, you can pick up a certain amount of specific knowledge and skills, but more importantly than that, Zakaria says, you also learn how to write, how to speak, how to argue, and most importantly, how to learn. So if you're a computer engineer and the coding language changes 3 times in the next 10 years, you'll be equipped to stay abreast of these changes. If you're a business major working in a sector that collapses, you'll be able to adapt and successfully shift to another sector. And if you're a philosophy or economics grad and the world takes an unexpected turn, you may be one of the first to figure out what's really going on and to help us chart a new course for the future. Canada's employment numbers strongly support Zakaria's analysis. In the past decade of incredible change, including the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression, university graduates continue to enjoy success in the labor market, while those with only high school credentials have languished. In the 5 years from 2008 to 2013, jobs for university graduates increased by 810,000, while jobs for those without post-secondary education decreased by over 500,000. No surprise, then, that today employment rates for university graduates are over 96%, or that university graduates can expect to earn a lifetime average income of over $1 million more than those with just a high school education. The liberal arts advantage is an important advantage and one that has been noted in the rest of the world. For example, institutions across Asia have begun to introduce liberal arts courses and programs to add balance to what has been an overly narrow focus on skills alone. And SFU works hard to help you to achieve that balance. As stated in our strategic vision, SFU is committed to being an engaged university defined by its dynamic integration of innovative education, cutting-edge research, and far-reaching community engagement. In that regard, we have worked to impart the critical thinking, the problem-solving, and research skills that will make you employable, adaptable, and global citizens. We have required you to hone your writing and quantitative abilities and ensure that you have interdisciplinary breadth. And we provided you with opportunities for experiential learning to gain workplace skills and civic understanding. But I hope that when you leave SFU, you do so with a sense of your own capacity, your own responsibility to change the world even as the world itself changes. Just as we've encouraged you to be engaged students, I hope you'll become engaged citizens, committed to making the world better. In a profound way, it is now your world. I want to close by saying thank you. Thank you for choosing SFU. Thank you for inspiring your professors and your colleagues. and thank you for engaging. Thanks also to your parents, to your extended family, to your friends and mentors, all of whom have helped you to this day. Your success is also their success. And finally, while you will soon have your degree, your education in this changing world will inevitably be unfinished. You are alumni now. I hope you will cherish that status and you'll come back often as your educational needs require or just to stay in touch. Simon Fraser University will always be here for you. Congratulations all.
SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor that's conferred by this university. Honorary degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contribution to the public good, either through their professional actions or philanthropic activity. Honorary degree recipients' achievements celebrate our university's values, and they serve as an inspiration and a role model to our students, our graduates, and our community. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Mr. David Baines, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Peter Tingling. Dr. Tingling is an Associate Professor of Management at the Beedie School of Business, as well as a Senator of this university. He is a recipient of the TD Canada Trust Teaching Award. Dr. Tingling.
Madam Chancellor, David Baines' unique contribution of academic and practical training in finance, coupled with integrity, curiosity, intelligence, and courage, demonstrates how a determined individual can contribute to improvements in the quality and transparency of business for all Canadians. Mr. Baines began his journalistic career after completing an Honours BA in English Literature at Queen's University and an MBA from the Richard Ivey School of Business at the University of Western Ontario. After several years in the finance industry, Mr. Baines joined the Vancouver Sun as its securities columnist, specializing in white-collar crime, in particular securities fraud. Averaging 3 columns a week for 25 years, David exposed immoral and illegal business conduct in hundreds of different business situations. He focused not just on the perpetrators, but also on the regulatory environment that enabled their misdeeds and the professionals who facilitated them. In many cases, his exposés led to civil and criminal prosecutions, and in some cases, to game-changing regulatory reform. Not surprisingly, his writing was not well received by people who found themselves at the investigative end of his pen. BC Business Magazine dubbed him the most hated man in business. He was physically threatened on several occasions, and at one point, the Vancouver police announced there was a contract on his life. He was sued for libel 20 times. Not because he was reckless, but because he and the Vancouver Sun refused to be cowed by legal threats. On one occasion, he turned the tables and sued a group of promoters who had accused him of trading against his column. He won by far what is the largest libel award in BC history. Yet Mr. Baines never wavered from his purpose, to protect and promote the interests of ordinary investors. For his efforts, he received many accolades, most notably 4 national newspaper awards, 1989, 1998, 2000, and 2005, more than any other reporter or columnist in Western Canada. He also won a National Magazine Award for Best Business Article and 4 Jack Webster Awards for Outstanding Journalism in BC. Upon his retirement last year, the Jack Webster Foundation presented him with its Lifetime Achievement Award, BC's most prestigious journalism award. Author J.K. Rowling, speaking as Dumbledore, opined, "It takes a great deal of courage to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends." Mr. Baines wrote without fear or favor. In doing so, he improved business transparency and operations and made investing safer and fairer for all Canadians. We are truly honored to have him join us here today. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of this university, I ask that you now confer upon David Baines the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
David Baines, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Dr. Baines will be hooded by Dr. Gordon Myers, Associate Vice President, Academic, and Dr. Tim Raleigh, Associate Vice President, Students.
Sorry? Is this his?
Yes.
Okay. It is with great pleasure that I now call on Dr. David Baines for his convocation address. Dr. Baines.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the Senate, faculty, proud parents, friends, and most of all, Beedie School graduates. When President Petter told me I had been selected for this degree, I was delighted. I received many congratulatory emails, including one from a player on my old-timers hockey team. That is a well-deserved honor, he wrote. You will now be held in the same esteem as other people who have received honorary degrees. People like George W. Bush, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mike Tyson, and Kermit the Frog. The difference, of course, is that I got my degree from Simon Fraser University, which was named after a trailblazer and has distinguished itself as such ever since it opened 49 years ago. When it comes to honorary degrees, the value is not in the degree. It's in the university that bestows it, which is why I value this honor so much. I've been told that I have 5 minutes to speak. That doesn't seem very fair to me. Conan O'Brien took 23 minutes to deliver his commencement speech at Dartmouth. Among other things, he noted that several U.S. presidents who had received honorary degrees had taken the opportunity to announce groundbreaking policy. Wanting to follow in their path, he announced what he called the Conan Doctorate. From now on, he said, all bachelor's degrees will be upgraded to master's degrees. All master's degrees will be upgraded to PhDs. And all MBA students will be immediately transferred to a white-collar prison. I can repeat that joke because I also have an MBA. But I can tell you it has changed my life in so many positive ways. I most certainly wouldn't be here today without it. But the more pertinent question is, where will your degree take you? In my 25 years as a business columnist with the Vancouver Sun, I watched hundreds of people use the knowledge and stature that their degrees provided to advance their careers, build their reputations, and enrich their personal lives. But I also saw many other people who crossed moral and legal bounds to gain personal advantage over others. I learned that there are many different ways to cheat, not only in obvious ways like manipulating a stock price or falsifying assay results, but in more subtle ways, like structuring an investment deal that is so laden with sales commissions, management fees, and sweetheart insider deals that investors are bound to lose. Over the years, we were able to publicly expose many of the people behind these schemes. Unfortunately, most of these people escape headlines, but they do not escape consequences. The business community has a remarkable grapevine. It knows who's being naughty and who's being nice. If you don't always act honestly and give good value, you will be quickly relegated to the fringes of commerce and of society. In my final column in The Sun, I touched on the subject of moral ambiguity, the difficulty of knowing when you have crossed a moral boundary. I'm not so sure about this. I think that many people purposely blur these boundaries to justify their behavior. I think that honesty is not so much situational as attitudinal. It's a state of mind. As my 102-year-old father says, either you're honest or you're not. Today is a wonderful day. We are all getting degrees. The difference is that I got mine without the inconvenience of classes. You had to work long and hard under great pressure, but you now have a credential that has value and will give value for the rest of your life. So my message to you is don't compromise it for some short-term advantage. Use it as a platform to advance your career, build your reputation, and enrich your personal life. Always be honest. Always give value. Well, I see my time is up. Upon reflection, 5 minutes is more than enough. You've already spent weeks and months and years in classrooms listening to professors, absorbing information and formulating ideas. Now it's showtime. As Kermit the Frog said to the graduates of Long Island University, "You are no longer tadpoles. The time has come for you to drop your tails and leave this swamp." Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Fabulous. Take those two. Thank you. Thank you so much, David. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Baines. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the ceremony, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University alumni pin to the graduates as they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we are pleased that this symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as alumni of Simon Fraser University. Ms. Pam Hernandez received a Bachelor of Business Administration from the Beedie School of Business. She's also currently a member of SFU's Alumni Association Board of Directors. I invite Ms. Hernandez to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduates.
Thank you, President Petter. I was actually part of the very first inaugural convocation ceremony that you were a part of, so it's really surreal to be up here right now. Hello. It's my privilege and pleasure to congratulate all of you on your amazing achievement today, and as well to welcome you as the newest members of SFU's Alumni Association. So that's it. You didn't have to check off a box or anything. You're already a member. Thanks. You're actually joining a community of over 130,000 graduates, which are spread out across the globe, and there's plenty of alumni reps in all of the major metropolis should you ever choose to internationalize your career. To learn more about the many accomplished and inspiring community you're joining, you can check out the Alumni Appreciation Project, and that's actually featured on the back of your program, should you choose to check it out. I also encourage you to remember and rely upon the many connections that you've made during your years up here on campus. Your fellow alumni can be a very powerful, and you know it's a diverse network wherever you choose to take your career. As such, you can also check out the alumni online directory, where you can actually search anyone that's graduating from the university, in addition to staying connected through our various social media channels. There's plenty of Instagrams taking place right now from the many familiar faces, so I'll have to check those out later. Also keep in mind that the Alumni Association is here to serve your needs and interests. There's actually a Leader Frames booth behind me right now where you can buy customized degree frames to keep your shiny new degree or certificate well framed up on the mantle. There's plenty of other programs that we deliver as well, and you can check those out in the degree folder that you've got as well. Finally, as you cross the stage today, I'll be presenting you with a pin to commemorate your achievement. It's a small token of appreciation and something that hopefully you'll keep for years to come wherever your degree ends up taking you. Whatever life takes you in the future, we hope that you keep the SFU spirit alive. On a quintessential SFU day like today, we can all relate to that, having crossed the stage before. And we really hope that you both keep the SFU spirit alive as well as remain connected to your community near, far, and wherever you may be. As President Petter's alluded to, the future is uncertain, but one thing we can definitely know is the power of community is invaluable, and it is a pleasure and privilege to be here with you. Congratulations again today.
Thank you, Pam. Before the graduands are presented individually to the Chancellor, Mr. Sasha Vukovic, a member of the graduating class, will address Convocation. During his time at SFU, Sasha completed 3 co-op work terms, served as a Beedie ambassador, and represented the university at international case competitions and conferences in Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida. He was a Gordon M. Shrum Major Entrance Scholarship recipient, has consistently been on the Dean's and President's honor roll, and was appointed to research and teaching assistant roles. Sasha plans to pursue a career in commercial law and will be starting law school at a university somewhere west of here. He graduates today with a joint major in business administration and economics, achieving first-class honors with distinction. It's now my great pleasure to call upon Sasha Vukovic for the graduate address. Sasha?
Mr. President, Madam Chancellor, distinguished faculty, guests, friends, and family, I'm honored and truly thankful for the opportunity to share this significant milestone with you, celebrating the accomplishments of our graduating class. To my fellow graduates, congratulations. If there was ever any doubt in your mind as to whether a business degree was the right choice, just take comfort in knowing that, unlike the science graduates tomorrow morning, we avoided the 8 a.m. start. Over the past few weeks, I've watched countless motivational speeches, and while I can't possibly promise you the same gripping tale of adventure as some explorer turned inspirational speaker who spent his life scaling mountains or saving rainforests, or the same profound wisdom that only Morgan Freeman can so effortlessly deliver, what I can promise you are 3 takeaways or life lessons that draw on our collective experience as SFU students. And I'll try my very best to keep you all awake in the process. Now, this could go one of 2 ways, either something like a bad final exam, painful to sit through, full of bad jokes, and you forget all you learned within a week. Or, and I sincerely hope this is the case, you'll be able to find some meaning you can relate to in my words and leave here feeling proud of your SFU journey, maybe even a little bit inspired. So here goes. Number 1, university is a lot like running a race. If you're not pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, if you're not demanding more from yourself, if you're walking away without feeling beaten up and tired, you're doing it wrong. Looking back at our first year, the race ahead of us seemed much like a marathon, with a long, bumpy road full of exhausting 8:30 a.m. starts, jockeying for position on those crowded buses, battling up this mountain through the rain as we see today and through the snow, with no clear end in sight. But the harder we worked, the faster and further ahead we moved. We figured out what it took to get to the front of the bell curve, that is, and by 3rd year, the finish line was in sight. Like a 100-meter sprint, 4th year passed by in the blink of an eye. Some of us even returned for a victory lap with an extra semester or 2. Sorry, Mom and Dad, that definitely wasn't easy on your wallets. Yet after all that running, here we are today, and although it feels like we've crossed the finish line, the truth is, graduation will be a starting point rather than an end to a life full of learning that this transformative journey at SFU has trained us for. Lesson 2, don't take for granted how lucky you are to be sitting here today. Yes, even with these funny hats on your head and with the pouring rain outside. My parents immigrated to Canada at the height of a bloody civil war in Yugoslavia, with a single suitcase in one hand and a 3.5-year-old child in the other. That child was me, exhausted from a 9,000-kilometer flight, cranky, longing for my grandparents and friends half the world away, and oblivious to the horror and injustice that prompted my parents' difficult decision to leave everything behind. Nearly 20 years later, I finally understand the sacrifice they made to ensure a future full of opportunities in moments like this for me in Canada. Point being, at SFU, we come from near and far, with diverse backgrounds and challenges, yet one common unifying trait has always been our persistent desire to engage the world around us. As we move on to more schooling, careers, and real life, we will face a world full of challenges. A fragile global economy, a difficult job market, political tension, and power struggles. So let's just remember how lucky we are to have received a world-class education at SFU and the freedom to pursue our dreams as confident and engaged global citizens ready for whatever challenges await. This leads to number 3, which is a mantra that many of you will recognize from someone who's helped, coached, and inspired many of us here. In the words of Sam Tiara, everyone's life is an autobiography. Make yours worth reading. Don't let the fear of failure keep you from trying, the fear of something new and unknown keep you from getting involved, or the fear of rejection keep you from applying for that potentially life-changing opportunity you've had your eye on. The only way to succeed is to try. In fact, during my time at SFU, simply trying, sometimes hesitantly, too many times last minute, has led me to do things during my degree I never could have imagined when I first started my journey here. Writing a $150 million business case during co-op, taking on Oxford MBAs at a case competition and beating them, catching a private Van Halen concert at an all-expenses-paid conference in Orlando, working for the federal government, and finally, being able to stand up here and speak to all of you. And on behalf of the many remarkable voices in today's grad class, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to the professors who inspired us to find our calling, and even those that, let's just say, encouraged us to steer clear of certain subjects. Thank you to the mentors who coached us and watched their efforts pay off when we survived our first big presentation or case competition. But most of all, thank you to our parents, families, and loved ones sitting here today or thinking of us from afar, who watched us grow up from those adorable little children who melted your hearts to those moody teenagers who just drove you crazy, and finally, to the confident, good-looking, and humble young men and women sitting before you who can finally say that, yes, Mom and Dad, you've been right all along about everything. The pride we see in your eyes today is enough to tell us we've succeeded. And although we may forget to say it, there's no way we could be standing here today celebrating having accomplished all the things we've aspired to and the many more we hope to achieve without your help. We all have our personal equivalents, but I want to especially thank my parents, my little brother, my family overseas, and my girlfriend for everything you do. Congratulations, graduates. Now it's time to go out there and do what SFU has long been telling us. Think of the world, engage it, and let's see what we can do to change it. Thank you.
Thank you. Fabulous. And thank you, Sasha. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduands please rise? Pretty good-looking group, don't you think? Yes, indeed. Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university and request that you confer upon each one the degree for which she or he is now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Will the graduates please be seated?
The members of the graduating class will now be presented individually to the Chancellor. But first, a few requests. Would you please refrain from applauding the individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not apply to the conferral of doctoral degrees, and obviously, we can't forbid spontaneous outbursts of enthusiasm. As a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremonies. And would graduates please return to your seats following the receipt of your degrees. The degrees in the Beedie School of Business will now be conferred. Madam Chancellor, the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Wade Parkhouse, will announce the names of the students earning graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduate of the degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Beedie School of Business. The graduates will be hooded by Dr. Danny Shapiro, Dean of the Beedie School of Business. Dr. Charles King. Dr. King completed his doctorate under the supervision of Dr. Andrei Pavlov. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of master's degrees in the Beedie School of Business. The first graduate is the recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence, Mr. Ian Gilchrist. I ask Mr. Gilchrist to join me. Ian Gilchrist has led engineering teams for stationary generators and worked on fuel cells for automotive and transit bus use, including the pilot fuel cell bus fleet launched for the Whistler Olympics. His career as a professional engineer has taken him to Indonesia, Singapore, Germany, India, Taiwan, Denmark, Mexico, and locations throughout the U.S. Enrolling in the Americas MBA for executives allowed him to study management issues in the 4 largest economies of the Americas, and then apply that knowledge to his final team project on market opportunities for backup power products in Latin America. The graduate chair of the EMBA program was effusive in his praise. Ian was an inspiring student in his cohort and was always helping his peers in their learning. He also reached out to program instructors with constructive ideas on how to improve the EMBA. And he's now helping us reach out to the next generation of EMBA students. He's truly been a great SFU ambassador. On behalf of SFU, we congratulate Ian Gilchrist on his outstanding achievements, which are being recognized with the award of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal as one of SFU's most outstanding graduate schools from the Beedie School of Business. Congratulations. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the remaining graduates of master's degrees in the Beedie School of Business. Laura Anderson. Syed Apsar. Ditin Arora. Yes. Thank you. Arena Verena. Dave Baines. Robert Baran. Bina Bawa. Tanya Boito. Olga Boyko. David Bridger. Derek Brooks. Allie Brown. Karina Burrows. Sophie Collins. Michael Cornford. Asim DeBur. Dominic Desbois. Riley DeRay. Nia Dosi. Pink. Ashley Fields. Peter Frankel. Danielle Friesen. Jesuit Cadham. Boad Gavarelli. Emilio Eduardo Godet. Warwick Green. Manpreet Gutman. Nagar Hadavi. Jordan Hankinson. Jeffrey Ho. Brad Holm. Courtney Jensen. Joanna Kipp. Colin Knutson. Shane Koritz. Silvio Labriola. Sanjeev Lal. Aaron Lane. Sri Madiwal. Dennis McKelliff. Rumi Mistry. Dare Mustawala. Mohammed Nasri. John Plasterer. Alexei Popov. Bharat Rawat. Jared Souter. Darvinder Shergill. Todd Norman Steen. Chang Shong. Walter Sorto. Sa Traxler. Michael Vandervelden. Ruby Burke. Ping Pang Wang. Chang Wu. Nu Zhu. Wu Su. Xiao Xiao Yan. Sai Xiao Chen. Xu Dongyu. Bin Hu. Zheng He. Amelia Kolar, Eric Leno, Jaiken Lai, Zorian Lee, Jian Ling, Xiao Lu, Hossein Nadri, Ehsan Sayedin, Jaspal Singh, Kong Wang, Zhang Wang, Shen Yan, Li Yang, Yuting Yu, Jing Yuan, hello, Lulu Zhao, Di Zhao, Madam Chancellor, I am pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for graduate diplomas in the Beedie School of Business. Stephanie Adams, Karina Albrecht, Pearl Fernandez, Yumendra Singh,
Madam Chancellor, the Dean of the Beedie School of Business, Dr. Daniel Shapiro, will now announce the names of the students earning undergraduate degrees in his faculty.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in the Beedie School of Business. The first graduate is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. I ask Ms. Ravneet Dhaliwal to come forward. Thank you. Hey, Ravneet, what was your GPA? 4.16. Ravneet Dhaliwal is an exemplary student in the Beedie School of Business. She is not only an honors student with a GPA graduating of 4.16, and for those of you who are not fully aware of GPAs, most of you are aware of GPAs. That means she has more than an A average. And that's not easy in a faculty that, as you've already heard, uses a bell curve to grade. It's not just that she's an exemplary student, she's an exemplary citizen. She is an example of the kind of engagement that SFU and the Beedie School foster and promote. Ravneet has spent her time while at SFU founding a group called Math for Me. Math for Me is an organization which attempts to tutor students in math to help them upgrade their mathematical and quantitative skills. She does this for students in K-12. Over the past years that she has done this, Ravneet's students and the people that she has mentored have garnered some $100,000 in scholarships as they enter universities. She is a young woman who will make a mark in this world. Her interests well transcend tutoring in math. She is interested in women's entrepreneurship. She is interested in finance. She's interested in accounting. I hope you will all join me in wishing her well in the journey that she is embarking on today, and congratulate her on being the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the remaining graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in the Beedie School of Business. Payman Abadi Rad, Abdul Albayjan, Mohammed Shafraz Ali, April Alvior, Africoma Amponasa, Martin Anderson, Arun Bakshi, Brock Balfour, Kelly Bannon, Vanya Bartula, Sukhdeep Basra, Jessica Baketa, Jordan Bernalot Mons, Amit Bhagat, Dejan Blagojevic, Jacqueline Block Glass, Yushada Bagoda, Irina Borasova, David Bradshaw, Spencer Bacall, Giorgio Budalig, Chantal Buffy, Connor Buss, Shunji Chai, Matthew Kalau, Henry Tsao, Evan Karras, Fidel Jaime Castillo, Mandeep Chahal, Anthony Chan, Calvin Chan, Douglas Chan, Gordon Chan, Henry Chan, Ivan Chan, Laifun Chan, Monica Chan, Evan Chand, Alan Chang, Jackson Chow, Renee Chow, Di Chen, Fujia Chen, Haokun Chen, Kelvin Chen, Lin Chen, Li Yi Chen, Pei Ming Chen, Rong Chen, Xixin Chen, Su Chun Chen, Heather Chen, Caroline Cheng, Cindy Chung, Xin Xiao Cheng, Kenny Chung, Timothy Chung, Jeffrey Cho, Kenneth Cho, Melaine Choi, Jerry Chong, Tiffany Cho, Edward Chow, Eleanor Chow, Jennifer Chow, Andrew Chu, Alexandra Coder, Evan Colville, Michael Costley, Anna Tsui, how's that? Vicky Dai, Becky Dang, Jessere de la Cruz, Jingjing Deng, Witanya Dewey, Yameng Dong, Han Du, Shang Du, Trevor Duong. We'll wait for that. Brett Dushenko, Brett Elder, Don Escobedo, Kaiji Feng, Lin Fang, Ruchi Feng, Patrick Fick, Vivian Fong, Wen Xuan Fu, Rolando Fuentes Ruiz, Peter Fugiel, Kathy Fung, Melissa Fung, Ludi Gao, Mingting Gao, Richard Garda, Natalia Gerasimova, Ekamjit Guman, Navdeep Gill, Sanjeev Gill, Sonali Gomez, Kevin Gu, Susan Guan, Guan Gui, Michelle Guo, Wei Guo, Camelo Guo, Jennifer Gutzman, Amy Ha, Carson Ha, Anam Hamid, Scott Hanna, Liu He, Rachel He, Yixia He, Yueshan He, Sabrina Heer, Brandon Hung, Benny Ho, Leon Ho, Herman Ho, Kwai Ho Ho, Sum Wing Ho, Yufei Ho, Linda Huang, Tamara Hombre Bueno, Jing Hong, Victoria Hong, Chi Yuan Ho, Sean Hogan, Yvonne Tun, Brian Hu, Jing Hu, Sandy Hu, Jiao Hao Huang, Jin Huang, Junyu Huang, Jacob Huberman, William Huen, Angus Hui, Danielle Hunt, Karsten Hun, Davina Jagpal, Adil Javed, Christian Jeffrey, Ashley Jennings, Sena Jiang, Yunchan Jiang, Fan Ji, Jinran Ji, Chelsea Jiang, Jin Dian, Kang Lee Jin, Brooke Johansson, Emily Karras, Artem Katin, Jaslinder Sidhu, Michihiro Kawano, Alana Kendrick, Ashraf Khan, Mandeep Kangura, Regil Harasoff, Mila Huskin, Arthur Kim, Grace Kim, Lloyd Kim, May Ko, Ronnie Ko, Wheeling Kong, Amy Cooner, Alisa Kwan, Rui Kwang, Eric Kung, Brandon Kuo, Ayaka Kurashina, Abella Kwan, Brandon Kwan, John Kwan, Sami Kwan, Siun Lai, Cora Lam, Elizabeth Lam, Daisy Lam, Henry Lam, Tristan Landrecht, Lang Lang, Leslie Langell, Chelsea Langell, Yupeng Lau, Julia Lau, Pavel Lau, Kelvin Law, Jessica Law, Carmen Lee, Chakxing Lee, Billy Lee, Hakjun Lee, Jessica Lee, Catherine Lee, Kevin Lee, Jeff Lee, Leanne Lee, Lucia Lee, Nathan Lee, Wilson Lee, Adela Leung, Alex Leung, Jason Leung, Joanne Leung, Diana Leung, Andy Lee, Cheng Li, Fei Shui Li, Han Li, Jeffrey Lee, Keiju Lee, Ting Ting Lee, Vivian Lee, Elsa Lee, Cindy Lee, Yi Lee, Yilin Lee, Elaine Lee, Yu Lee, Yunfei Lee, Josie, Josie Lee, okay. Vincent Liang, Scott Liang, Jiajun Liang, Mark Liangko, Hui Tong Lin, Jing Lin, Chan Qian Lin, Yun Yu Lin, Alexandra Lineker, Yun Ling, Eric Liu, Hank Liu, Li Liu, Yang Liu, Ying Liu, Frank Lowe, Leo Long, Patrick Lowe, Kevin Lowe, Holden Liu, Jason Liu, Wilson Liu, Jingkang Luo, Samantha Luo, Helen Law, Stefano Luongo, Vincent Liu, Phyllis Ma, Eliza Machon, Jethro Magot, Aaron Ma, Joyce Mai, Silong Mak, Chikai Mak, Wei Peng Mak, Sophia Malyarenko, Henry Mao, Sean McBain, Jeffrey McCann, Carly McDougall, Jordan Melanson, Yuan Ming, Tamara Milicic, Hussam Mofti, David Moradi, Brendan Monroe, Mohammed Naim, Maria Narcisco, Manisha Narula, Akbar Nasir, Garvin Eng, Iman Ing, Shayna Eng, Winnie Eng, Dennis Ngo, Brian Nguyen, Tan Nguyen, Tony Nguyen, Antu Nguyen Dawn, Kimberly Nguyen Dawn, Krista Olaris, Joss Joss One, Amanda Osterman, Jackie Pan, Paul Pan, Jenny Pan, Sherman Powell, Thomas Park, Michelle Peng, David Fan, Samantha Pinto, Galina Pokrashinsky, Stephanie Prasetio, Hui Pan, Hui Chiao, Haobin Chu, Louisa Chu, Matthew Kwan, Asneet Randhawa, Ting Fang Ren, Jishin Ren, Jordan Richards, Jethro Rosillo, Michael Rockwood, Katrina Russell, Adila Saad, Jian Sandhu, Kenna Sanjaya, Stefania Scarlat, Lucas Cigars, Sebastian Sikon, Ekaterina Semenova, Nena Sethi, Imad Shahid, Anil Sharma, Yat Long Shek, Bin Bin Shen, Fang Shen, Rong Shen, Chen Shi, Helen Shi, Hong Shi, Lingyan Shi, Wen Hui Shi, Xiaofei Shi, Lindsay Shim, Alisa Shipley, Erin Shklanka, Timur Shuvalov, Mandeep Sidhu, Evan Sidwell, Christian Siu, Stacy Silgalis, Kareen Sin, Paramveer Singh, Victor Siu, Adrian Siap, Christiana Slotin, Wei Song, Youngwoo Song, Monique St. Pierre, Erica Su, Janice Su, Yu Su, Chifan Sui, Sarah Sullivan, Tadaki Sun, Wendy Sun, Miroslav Suzera, Karen Tam, Ryan Tam, Felix Tan, Mingting Tan, Vonnie Tan, Yanyin Tan, Yue Tan, Lucas Tan, Stanley Tan, Christine Tang, Marco Tang, Chen Yuan Tang, not bad, Cassandra Tay, Sean Thin, Joel Tom, Man Tian, Ginny To, Diane To, Prethi Tour, David Tran, Kathy Tran, Emily Treen, Ricky Trin, Kwok Shu Lawrence Chang, Kelvin C, Pui Kwan C, Sandy Tu, Van Lei Wen, Sheila Van, Brent Vatney, Amos Leon, Quinn Vu, Jenny Vu, Sasha Vukovic, whose brilliant words we heard earlier, Stacy Wallen, Hilda Wan, Kevin Wang Chang, Alan Wang, Anchi Wang, Carol Wang, Chun Hao Wang, Fei Wang, Carmen Wang, Kim Hank Wang, Joy Wang, Kang Wang, Chi Wang, Rebecca Wang, Nancy Wang, Ting Ting Wang, Stacy Wang, Yafen Wang, Ying Wang, Ying Wang, Yucheng Wang, Peter Workington, Shan Shan Wei, Donger Wang, who's here? Kelsey Williams, Jessica Willianto, Carly Wilson, Adam Wyszynski, Alan Wong, Fiona Wong, Deborah Wong, Shannon Wong, Stephanie Wong, Timothy Wong, Janice Wong, Wendy Wu, Vivian Wu, Wan Ting Wu, Ying Yi Wu, She Wu, Lili Xiao, Yi Chin Shu, Doris Shu, Lu Shi Shui, Jennifer Yang, Jun Yang, Li Yang, Lei Yang, Lin Yang, Sharon Yang, Shi Yang, Mars Yang Shu, Wanji Yao, Bo Ye, Henry Ye, Victor Ye, Stephen Ye, sorry, Hannah Young, Yu Yin, Ken Ying, Joseph Yu, Jason Yu, Mei Wan Yu, Miao Yu, Sheng Yu, Stella Yu, Richard Yuan, Sherry Yuan, Renata Yilgasheva, Li Hao Zhang, Huiji Zhang, Tom Zhan, Haolun Zhang, Ji Zhang, Jialin Zhang, Jianlong Zhang, Jiaxiao Zhang, Jin Zhang, Karen Zhang, Li Tao Zhang, Mingmeng Zhang, Qinting Zhang, Renyuan Zhang, Jianqi Zhang, Crystal Zhang, Angela Zhang, Cindy Zhang, Janet Zhang, Chen Zhao, Chen Chen Zhao. Is it Kong or Chong?
Chong Chong.
Kong, Chong? Chong Chong Zhao, Rui Zhao, Yelin Zhao, Yu Hang Zhao, Anna Zhang, Jiamin Zhang, Yiwen Zhang, Mickey Zhao, Yang Zhao, Jiani Zhu, Li Xiao Zhu, Jianyun Zhu, Xiaomin Zhu, Vasily Shmanovsky, Nikki Zerkowski,
Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degree. This is an impressive achievement, and I ask your friends and family to join me in applauding the incredible graduating class of June 2014. Now, let's not forget who got you here. I'd like to now invite the members of the graduating class to reciprocate by applauding your family, your friends, the faculty and staff, all of whom helped you to reach your goal. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes the formal awarding of degrees today. Some of the graduates recommended by the Senate for degrees were unfortunately unable to be presented today, and their names were not read out. However, I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown in the program. I have a quick couple of thank yous to express, most importantly to all of you for joining us today and making this such a special event. To our many volunteers, staff, and faculty members coordinated by Student Services and Ceremonies, events offices. They all work together to make sure that our convocation, rain or sun, is a very smooth convocation day, so thank you. And of course, to the members of our six-time world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band for their special contribution to convocation. You'll be happy to know they will be performing after the ceremony in Freedom Square, which is just behind the platform. So this brings to a close the formal part of this afternoon's convocation. Boy, time flies. You are now all invited to attend a reception in the James Douglas Room, which again is behind the platform. Could I ask you please to rise and remain standing at your places until the platform party has recessed? Thank you.